Sirupam Sagaradatam Sahaganadanatan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvidam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastade Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhavan Sudhe Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Paditamam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I would like to offer my obeisances to our most beloved spiritual master, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Raj, and to all the previous acharyas, Param Gurudev, Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Six Goswamis, Swarup Damodar, Rai Ramananda Roy, Ramacharya Srila Das Thakur, Satyanandan Gaurari and his associates, and Radha Krishna Jubal and their associates, and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So we're continuing with some explanation about the process of deity worship, Archan. As yesterday I have given some introduction. Different names are there mentioned for the process of deity worship. So today I would like to speak about one of them, as explained yesterday also, Pancha Anga Puja. So the worship of the Lord, which is divided in 5 limbs. You will be getting some pamphlet also on sheet with also the outline of these days, 5 days which I'm giving, and all these different terms which I'm explaining here will be written on that. And of course, if you don't have the Archan Padati, the deity worship book, I recommend that you get that, and that is definitely very helpful, very valuable for one's Archana Deepika, yes, for one's learning thoroughly this process of deity worship and then applying that knowledge and performing deity worship or having the understanding of this process of deity worship, which is one of the Panch Mahatvapurna, and then also give this knowledge to others and try to help others so they may worship the deities properly. We have a little presentation also. I hope you can see. You can see from there. So these are the deities in Sri Vrindavan Dham and Krishna Balaram Mandir, established by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. So I have the good fortune of worshipping them since 25 years. And I think they are, for me, of course, the most beautiful deities. Of course, the deities, the devotees, usually there is a of course, usually the deities we are worshipping, they become more most beautiful to us. Even in a relationship, we can see even in material life, if one is a family man, one has his wife, his children, they become most dear and most beautiful to us. So similarly, even in that term, the deities we are worshipping in our temple, they usually become most beautiful. And of course, but still, for many devotees in our society, so they very much like the beautiful Radha Shyam Sundar deities. So I have a small presentation. I hope I'm not an expert with computers, but we'll try to start some PowerPoint presentation. One god brother of ours, who also stays in Vrindavan. So he has helped me in bringing that together. Let me see. And just today I was reading one letter by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Srila Prabhupada, and there he has written to one devotee who was preaching in Assam, and he was explaining that I'm very happy to hear that you have gotten one film projector, and so while doing Harikatha, Krishna Katha, you may then show these different slides and movies which will help the devotees in understanding the Harikatha better. So for that same purpose, nowadays it is very much applied in society to use these different techniques. The computer is a little old, so it's taking a little time, but I hope we can, yes. So here we have Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has established the ISKCON Society, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Can you make it a little bit different?
It's too loud?
Something too much. I don't know if too loud is, but it's really strange to hear the rain.
Hare Krishna? Now it's better? Okay. So, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has been ordered by his spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur to spread Krishna consciousness in English language and in the Western world. So he established more than 100 temples, of which the most famous one is in Sri Vrindavan. And so this deity worship is for the temples in Vrindavan and surrounding areas. But as I explained yesterday, basically the outline of the deity worship is same in ISKCON as in Gaudiya Math. If you have a copy of Gaudiya Math, you may see that. I have also copies of deity worship process of Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti and other Gaudiya Vaishnava societies. So today I will explain about Panchanga Puja. Let me see here next. So Pancha Anga. So it is divided in 5 limbs. And the first is known as Abhigaman. Abhinav, Gaman, going to the temple, approaching the temple. So this includes the activities right after waking up early in the morning. So we have to understand the purpose of that. So I may ask one of you a question. Prabhuji, what do you do first thing in the morning? Prabhuji? What do you do first thing in the morning? You chant some prayers too? To Gurudev, very nice, yes. And to Nishingadev, yes. And to Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna, yes. So that is the main point also in here in Abhigaman, approaching the temple. Then we have to be focused. We have to fix our mind on the lotus feet of Sri Guru Gauranga and Krishna. And then it is of course recommended that we chant the holy names all the while. So it is explained, as we know, that we should rise early in the morning. That is preferably before sunrise, of course, during the Brahma Muhurta. And in the temples, it is done every day, that Mangalarti is there at 4:30. And at home worship, and many times, Hare Krishna, the householders, they have to work all day and sometimes they will take rest late at night.
Could you make it full screen?
Yes, so for those who are at home and they have so many other responsibilities, take care of the family, and sometimes they have to attend some program. For example, especially in India, many family members are there, and then so they may sometimes have to attend some programs, so they may not be able to take rest early and get up early, but still as one should see that one can rise at least at the time of sunrise and then worship the Lord. And usually the worship of the Lord, also in home worship, is always done before one is, of course, take anything for oneself. That is the instruction of the scriptures, that one will not take any prasad even before doing the worship of the Lord, especially puja. Of course, some exceptions are there. For example, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, upon rising early in the morning, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was visiting him one time, and he was very strict in following the rules and regulations. But then when Mahaprabhu came with some Jagannath Prasad, so first he was also saying, I have not taken bath. But then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, this is Jagannath Prasad, so you may just honor that. So there's a higher principle always, but still usually we follow the rules and regulations. But if Mahaprabhu is coming to us, or Gurudev, and giving us a prasad, then that will overrule the normal rules and regulations. And so many rules and regulations are there, but the most important, as we have heard also Gurudev this morning in the video, that we have to surrender to Krishna. We have to remember Krishna. And we have to chant Krishna Nam always. And then we can overcome all difficulties. So in this regard, there's one verse from the Padma Purana, Smattamya Satatam Vishnur Vismattamya Najatuchit Sarva Vidhi Nishenyasyur Etayoreva Kinkaraha. So the injunction is that we should always remember Krishna or Vishnu. That is the Vidhi. The question is.
Just out of curiosity, in case we quote the same thing, what scripture would we find that in?
About?
About copper.
About copper, where it is mentioned, I think it is in Hari Bhakti Vilas, by Sanat Goswami. And then the next step in Panchanga is Yoga. Establishing, becoming fixed in one's spiritual identity. So as we know, Yoga means also to link with the Supreme, to be connected with the Lord. And there's Karma Yoga, those who are performing their duties and they are offering something to the Lord, to Krishna. And Gyan Yoga, those who are cultivating knowledge and trying to approach the Lord. And then Ashtanga Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So we are interested in Bhakti Yoga. And so, of course, every day we hear that we are not this body and we eternal selves of Krishna. But still, when we're going to worship the Lord, we have to perform this step of yoga that is becoming established on the transcendental platform. And so again, it is a special effort made so that we are properly situated on the spiritual platform, because Krishna is Satchidananda Vastu. So it's completely transcendental, beyond the three modes of material nature. And really you can approach Krishna only factually when you are transcendently situated. And then there's a loving exchange there. So therefore we have to perform this yoga, of course by the mercy of the Spiritual Master, we are able to worship the deities, and we are able to do bhakti and advance in our spiritual life, performing sarana bhakti. So in the simple process, so for example, if one is doing a little seva on the altar, just offering some bhoga and doing arti, then one may simply do achman, sipping water for purification. So everybody is aware of achman, performing achman, everybody knows, raise your hand. Almost everyone. So there are two kinds of achman also. One is known as southern achman, simple achman. You sit, you put water in the right hand, and there's a process also that first you have to say the mantra, Om Keshavaya Namaha. And then you sip half of the water and half you discard. That is the proper way. And then you take again water, and usually it's mentioned 3 drops, and then you say Om Narayanaya Namaha, you sip the water and half and you discard half. And then Om Madhavaya Namaha, and then you rinse your hand, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vishnavaya Namaha. So that is known as sadhan achman, simple achman for purification. Mostly the householders, they will do simple achman, but those who are worshipping the deities in established temples, they will do vishesh achman, elaborate, special achman. Yes.
Do we have to sip the water?
If we have to sip the water, yes.
Because I have seen my Guru Maharaj, he never sip the water.
He never sip the water?
And then I saw others. He take a sip.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that is a good point. That sipping water means actually, and good point, he was making the sound also. He shouldn't make any sound. You actually just take a very little water. Yes, yes. But yeah, actually therefore I have said that you take half. And if you have 3 drops, how much water is there? And if you take half of it, that is not much. So just slightly taking some water.
Do you rinse your hand every other? So
What's that?
Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om
In
Narayana
an
Namaha.
elaborate process, you rinse your hands every time. But if you're not touching the mouth also, it is not absolutely required that you rinse your hand. But you may do.
How can you sip without touching?
Well, you can just, you see, put your hand like this and then it will come inside, if you are expert.
Why do you discard in half?
That is mentioned in scriptures, that you take half and you discard half.
Any reason?
I haven't read any reason, I haven't heard also. So that is known as sadhan achman. The idea is actually you chant the mantra Om Keshavaya Namaha, and that will be in the water by chanting. And also the water usually is supposed to be already sanctified water by chanting some mantras, Ganga Chaya, Manachaya, Godavari, Saraswati, calling the holy rivers, and then even chanting the Mula mantra, the mantra of the deity, Klim Goraya Namaha, Klim Krishnaya Namaha. Then it is already spiritualized, the water. And then you put in the hand and you say Om Keshavaya Namaha, it becomes more potent. And then so by chanting this mantra, then you become purified, you take that water to inside also, then again more purification will be there, so that you may be on the transcendental platform. Because Maya is very strong and the 3 modes of material nature are very strong. So when we worship the Lord, we should try to be sure that we are on a transcendental platform. That is the whole idea. Yes.
Just to mention, you've mentioned about external bathing, and my understanding of Achman is for purifying our inside.
Yes, that is there. Yes, yes. Yes, the bathing is external, but even while you're bathing, you're supposed to remember Krishna. Already at that point, you must have the internal purification must be there.
As well as when you're putting on the tilak.
Yes, yes. Even while taking bath, you chant Om Pavitra Pavitrama and Mahamantra. There is all preparation, but then still again, before you go on the altar, you have to do Achman, so that we may be sure that we may be properly situated to properly worship the Lord. Yes?
I noticed there it says not to do it while standing. Oftentimes you see devotees
Right, yes.
standing up.
I mean, doing Achman usually is done sitting down. But sometimes it is not possible. There's a small pujari room, and then you may do also standing. No problem. But first class is sitting down. Like in, for example, chanting Gayatri. Usually that is done sitting down. But sometimes you may see devotees standing up because they are so tired. Or even, of course, if you are in a holy river, at the time of the sunrise or sunset, you may chant the Gayatri also standing. But usually first class is sitting down for chanting Gayatri and doing Achman. So then full Achman is there, that is the sudden Achman, the basic Achman is included, and then afterwards you touch different parts of the body. So who is familiar with this Vishesh Achman? Yeah, a few devotees are familiar with this.
Is it 21 different places? Just out of curiosity, when you're doing the long run?
Yeah, yes, it is 24.
24.
Yes. And you chant the names of the Lord and touch different parts of the body. Yeah, in Bengal, the Vaishnavas, the Brahmanas, they're always using the Brahman thread. While doing Achman, while worshipping the Lord, for everything, they will put the Brahman thread around the thumb. But in southern India, it is never done. No. Even in northern India, usually they don't do that. American sannyasis also they do?
When they give multiple Tulsi,
Oh yes.
everything.
While they are following the Bengali Vaishnavas, right?
But I've never seen my Guru do that.
No, no. Now in northern India, no, nobody is doing that. While doing Achman, while serving the Lord, they are not putting the Brahman thread around. Even in South India, they don't do. That is a speciality among some Bengali Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. Some American sannyasis were following the Bengali Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. So it is acceptable. It can be done also, but it is easier actually without doing that. Sometimes it is difficult. Then you do padyam to the deities and the Brahman thread is there, putting it like this and the cloth is coming up, and sometimes the Brahman thread is short and then it becomes difficult to do the seva and not practical. Yes?
When you're doing a Vishesh Achman, at one point it says to touch the lips.
Yes.
But if you touch your lips to your hands, not become contaminated, is it?
Yeah, that is there, yeah. Yes, so there's actually 2 times in the beginning you touch, but then you purify your hands. And then afterwards you're supposed to simply wipe up and down, somehow without touching the lips, just above the lips. And even there are different archana paddhatis, there are different process of worship of the Lord, and you may see different descriptions of how to do the Vishesh Achman. But the basic point here again is to touch different parts of the body to spiritualize the body actually. And then after that we may chant one mantra, Om Tad Vishnu Param Param Sara Pashtati Suryoham Diviva Chakshora Tatti Prajavanjavo Jagrimam Sahasavindare Vishnuryat Paramam Padam from the Rig Veda. And some places, like in many of the Gaudiya Paddhati, only the first 3 lines are mentioned, but the whole verse is mentioned here, and it is nice to chant the full verse and beautiful meaning. Just as those with oral vision see the sun's rays in the sky, so the wise and learned devotees always see the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. Because those highly praiseworthy and spiritually awake Brahmanas can see that abode, they can also reveal it to others. So that is chanted after performing Achman, and then one is allowed to go on the altar. But even before going on the altar, usually outside in a pujari room, one has to offer obeisances and do Jaikar of Thakurji, of the Ishtadev. Jai Gurudev, Jai Guranga, Jai Radha Krishna, Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. And then one will enter, and then we may go in front of the deities with folded hands. One small point also, in front of the deities, on the altar, usually the devotees are not allowed to offer obeisances. That is an injunction there, which is mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas also. But one will offer obeisances outside before going inside, in the pujari room, or sometimes behind the deities, but not in front of the deities. Only with folded hands, but not bowing down. But if one is, so if one is worshipping the deity in a temple and doing puja to the main service after Mangalarti, then the yoga is more elaborate. Then one will do Buddha Shuddhi, the purification of the elements, and there's one mantra which one will say, actually one's own language is advised. Because many times we may learn mantras, and then we don't know the meaning. So who knows the verse Om Tat Vishnu? Anybody knows? So without looking at it. No? Many times devotees they will learn and then they don't know the meaning. So therefore there's one verse there which we may have to chant, which we have to chant in our language. German or French or Spanish or whatever, Hindi or English. So that goes as follows: I'm by nature the eternal servant of Krishna, but by misfortune, due to my being inimical towards him, I've been identifying with this material body and have been wandering in the cycle of birth and death, being burned by the trivial miseries. Now as a result of some unimaginable good fortune, by the mercy of my spiritual master, I know that I'm an infinitesimal spiritual being, completely apart from the gross and subtle body. Now by the order of my spiritual master I have obtained a good fortune of being able to serve his lotus feet as well as the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Radha Krishna or Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. So that has to be chanted, that has to be, uttered in one's language. So that one is actually becoming aware of one's real identity as the eternal servant of Krishna, completely apart from gross and subtle body. And then we may chant Naham Vipro Nacha Narapatiyana Pivaishana Shudro Nambanina Chakripatiyana Vanastatyarva Kittu Pradyanikla Paramananda Purnamalipta Der Gopi Bhattu Parakamaro Das Anadas. Anamada Kshatriya Brahmana Vaishya Shudra and so on, or Sannyasi, Grihasta and so on. But I'm simply the servant of Krishna, the beloved of the gopis. So with that, by chanting these different mantras, and there are some other mantras known as Vishnu Smaranam or Mangala Shanti, Swasti Vachan, chanting different mantras for auspiciousness, so that we are completely fixed. And even there, for example, the Mahamantra is always chanted. We may say some mantras, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada, and then Om Madhavo Madhavo Vachi, Madhavo Madhava Riti Smanati Sarva 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 Kaisha Madhavam. And then we chant Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then some more the mantras are there. Om Krishna Vachanandagana, Krishna Di Purusharma, and so on. Or Swasti Vacham, Om Swasno Govinda, Sasno Chudnato, Sasnavasani Vishnatu, Sasino Narayana Vai. And after all these mantras we always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, but of course in home worship we keep it simple. And we chant Om Tat Vishnu, or we may chant the famous mantra, remembering Guru Gauranga and Krishna. And Srimati Radharani there also says, Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yes.
One time I witnessed while some puja was going on, not maybe after the puja, that the pujari, because we're talking about cleanliness,
yes,
like standards, I was quite shocked. I saw him go to the bathroom, not taking off cloth. But of course in the mat, things are set up in such a way you have the area where you can pass through and then just the shower area.
Yes.
So he went into the shower area, but cloth on, came back on the altar, no,
that is actually not proper. While you are worshipping the Lord, if, for example, when you are doing the puja, the main worship, it is absolutely forbidden to get up And even when you're doing the puja, you must have all the paraphernalia, and when you sit down and you worship the Lord, you cannot get up. That is not allowed. But for example, if the puja is finished, and then you have to, example, do the breakfast offering, and in the winter especially, if it is very cold, then the urge is there to go to the bathroom, then you may go, but then you have to put on gamsha, and then you may pass water, but then you have to clean your hand and your feet and your mouth. And then you put on your dhoti, and then again you have to do achman for purification.
But this is also mentioned in Hari Bhakti
Yes.
that as long as you do not touch your cloth with your, if you're passing water,
Yes.
as long as there's no on the cloth, not necessarily to remove cloth.
Yeah, but sometimes it becomes difficult.
Yeah, but I'm just actually stating what's in Hari Bhakti Vilas. So I'm just,
But usually it is taken off, because there is every chance that something is coming out and then going on the cloth.
Well,
Just to avoid that.
I was quite surprised to see this.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised.
So therefore we don't criticize unless we're in a position of instructor, or if you're guru, or if you're head pujari, then you have to tell those under you, or the father has to tell to the son or daughter or the mother, they have to tell what to do and what not to do. But otherwise we just chant Hare Krishna and we do as we know what we should do. That is even an injunction. Actually you're not allowed. For example, if somebody is smoking on the street, we know smoking is not good, should not be done. But you can go and just tell anybody don't smoke? No, you cannot. And many times if you try, the person will become angry and punch you in the face. So similarly amongst the Vaishnavas, if you don't know somebody, you cannot just tell him, hey, this is wrong. If there is no relationship, then you're not actually allowed to correct somebody. But if the relationship is there, then it is your duty to correct, lovingly, in a loving way, trying to help. So preferably, clean clothes should be there. You don't go to the bathroom. You don't eat, although you take prasad, it is pure. But usually we take out the cloth or we change the cloth. But for example, if you have to eat something in the winter is cold, you need to eat something for breakfast, and then after you have to do Raj Bhog. So then after eating also it is not good to immediately take a bath. So you may wash your hands, feet, but then you have to put on clean dhoti. And then you do achman.
Mantra bath also?
Yeah, you may do. Yeah, different types of bath are there. The Varun Snan by water and then by mantra, that is there. Yes.
If we are in the middle of doing puja
Yes.
and our Gurudev comes in, what should we do?
Well, the Gurudev, that is an exception.
Okay.
If the Gurudev is calling, it is even mentioned you're doing artik in the public. And usually artik is never stopped. But if the Acharya is coming, it is your duty. If he has come from somewhere and he was just out and he's coming and then he's taking darshan, then it is your duty to stop the artik and then you have to receive the spiritual master. And same way if you're doing the puja and suddenly the spiritual master is coming to your house, let's say he's coming to your house unexpected, then at that time actually it is your duty to stop the puja and you have to receive your spiritual master. Because only by his mercy you can do the worship of the Lord. And even there, in that case, even on the altar for the pujari, if the Guru Maharaj is coming, the Acharya, and is calling you, then you cannot say, Guru Maharaj, I cannot come, I have to do puja. No, that is not possible. That is the only exception, if the spiritual master is calling. But otherwise, even your best friend is calling, then you don't go. Then you have to do the puja.
Telephone is burning.
Telephone is ringing now. The telephone should be, especially on the temple.
But it could be Gurudev on the
If it is at home, when Gurudev is on the phone and you see, then he can answer the phone. No problem, yeah. But sometimes for householders, if some guest is coming to the house, you may have also to interrupt the worship, but not on the altar. But at home it is a little different. Atiti Bhav Devo.
No, it's
I think
the
they have
mobile
about-
goes, no.
What's that?
If the mobile goes, I'm doing the I see.
Yes, yes. So, but good point, yeah. sometimes you get carried away, even myself, I must say. Sometimes I do the puja and then some president from the temple is calling, then sometimes we have to answer. So what to do? But not while you're doing the puja, that is not possible. But as we will explain, in the puja it is in 3 parts: the reception, the bathing and dressing, and then the puja. So while you're bathing the Lord, this just doesn't make sense that you stop and, while you're bathing, you bathe, and even somebody's knocking on the door in your house, even a guest is coming, he has to wait. You may say, wait 2 minutes, I'm just coming. Like that.
Actually, I've been on the phone
Yes.
and for business, and then I'm cooking at the same time.
Yes.
And then I'll say, oh, I'm offering, so can you, and then they join me in the offering.
Okay.
So I don't talk, I put it on the altar, and they're there listening to everything. I'm not sure if that's bona fide.
Yeah, you connected them to Krishna.
No, they're already devotees.
Oh, okay, all right.
I haven't done that very long.
Okay. You're helping them to remember the Lord.
Yeah.
So that is you. I think you got the idea, right? And then the next is worship of the Lord, Ijja. So different name of the worship as explained. So one of them is Ijja. So that is from the morning till evening. So as explained before, 64 upachars are there, 64 articles you may use, and that is of course according to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, how to worship the Lord. And so they start from the morning, known as Jagaran Seva, waking up the deities early morning. And then you are offering Bhoga, and then you have Mangalatik. So the home it may be simple. Again, of course, as explained, we do Achman, and then you wake up the deities. And there, first of all, just to make you understand the importance of the spiritual master, as always, that even before we speak, we chant the Mangala Charan, and first we remember Sri Guru, and then Gauranga, then Krishna. Similarly in deity worship, whenever you do seva, you always take shelter of the spiritual master, and you offer Puspanjali to the spiritual master, and then you do the seva. Similarly, when you're waking up the deities, first you have to wake up the spiritual master. Uttishta siguru tyaja nidam kripamoya. Or you may just say in your own language, my dear spiritual master, wake up. Of course, usually, as we know, the spiritual master is already up before us. As we know, Gurudev getting up early, and before we getting up, he already chanted 1 lakh. So, but just to help us and to understand that in the deity process of deity worship, we have to first wake up the spiritual master, although it really is already up. But just to help us in our understanding that without the spiritual master we can do nothing. So then we chant the mantra, or we say, my dear spiritual master, it is time to get up. But the Sat Shishya is there, the qualified disciple, as we had Madhav Maharaj or Brajanath Prabhu. So maybe many times they were there before the spiritual master and helping him in his morning duties also. So in tradition it is like that also. The qualified disciples.
One question.
Yes.
I have understood that we are not qualified to do all these services which are transcendental.
Yes.
We are not transcendental.
Yes.
But Gurudev, he is transcendental
Yes.
innovator. So really he is doing all this and we are assisting.
Yes.
From
Yes.
proper.
Yes. So he's asking that actually we are not qualified, we are not transcendently situated, but the spiritual master is transcendently situated. So he's doing all the seva and we are simply assisting. Yeah, that is a correct understanding. As we have explained, the deity seva is actually according to Nitya Lila. And the spiritual master is there in Nitya Lila. And is assisting the divine temple. Nikunja Yuno Radikeli Siddhai Ayani Bhayarutira Pekshaniya is there in Nishanta Lila helping Radha Krishna or the Manjaris. So, but we are not qualified. But by the mercy of the spiritual master, so we are there to help him in assisting him in doing any kind of seva for that matter. So, not only deity worship, but any seva, we are there assisting the spiritual master. And by his mercy, but still at the same time, the consciousness is also there. For example, you are doing artik for the Lord. It is not that now Gurudev is doing artik. I mean, practically, we are sadhaka, we are the sadhak sharir, but we are actually performing the artik. But with the understanding that the spiritual master is, by his mercy, we are doing the seva. Or even in, we can see in, for example, Golila and Krishna Lila, so sometimes, of course, Rupa Manjari is there serving the divine couple, and then sometimes as Rati Manjari, Vilap Kusumanjali, she's praying to Rupa Manjari, please give me the opportunity, please give me your mercy of being able to serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So sometimes then Rupa Manjari may say to Rati Manjari, okay, now you do this seva. So similar to the Spirit Master, he may then say, you do the seva. And actually, so we take Brahman initiation, and then the Spirit Master is engaging us in the seva of the deities.
I understood that when the spiritual master, for example, when we went to the Western countries,
Yes.
then our Guru Maharaj, he prayed for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. He went to different senior Vaishnavas, and
Yes.
they would tell him, just be like a mridanga or a flute, completely hollow, that our Guru Parampara, your Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, they can use you as their instrument.
Yes.
The more we are putting, there is the very beautiful explanation that the Guru, the bona fide Guru, is completely transparent.
Yes, transparent by media.
He has no any personal desire. What the desire is of the Guru Parampara
Right.
engages
Yes.
as their instrument. And therefore you never think that he is a doer or
Yes. Yes.
That is also emphasized when we advance in bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, we think we are the doer. Because we think, I have to make the effort.
Yes. Yes.
It's okay, but I have to get up in the morning. I have to
Right.
sadhana.
Yes.
But when bhakti starts manifesting, it starts happening automatically.
Yes.
Like a magnet
Yes.
attracts iron.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
we can understand that they are doing everything.
Yes, that is true, yes. So Brajanath Prabhu is making the point that before, when Sri Gurudev was, before going to the West, he was asking the senior Vaishnavas for the blessings. Even A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, before going to the West, even he went one time to Vrindavan and he was asking the blessings of all the Brijabasis there. I'm going to the West, please bless me so that I will be successful in preaching this Krishna consciousness in the Western world. So the Spiritual Master is always in his humble position and is becoming the transparent via media and becoming just like, for example, Brajanath Prabhu was giving just like a miridanga or a flute, so hollow like that, and so then the Guru Parampara is there and the mercy is flowing, and in this way, so then the bona fide Spiritual Master is spreading Krishna consciousness, never thinking that I am the doer, I'm simply the representative of my Spiritual Master. So it's a transparent via media. So the Sadshishya also is not thinking I am the doer, I am the pujari, I am doing that. But no, I am simply assisting my Spiritual Master. I am an instrument in his hands, a puppet in his hands. So that is the proper consciousness. When we are dressing the deities, for example, I never think I am dressing now Radhishan, but I am thinking Gurudev is there, Param Gurudev, and of course Manjari form, and then Rupa Manjari are there, Rati Manjari, and of course Lalita Vishaka. And they are doing the seva in the morning, according to Leela also, they are there. And so we simply instruments in their hands. That is the proper consciousness. And then everything is happening. So then if you have this consciousness, then the deities are manifested very beautifully. But if I think, I'm the pujari, I'm dressing the deities, then it is not pure. But of course sometimes, then after darshan, the devotee will ask, who is dressing the deities? Because sometimes different pujaris are there. And then sometimes we have to say, I was dressing the deities. But always we know that it is by the mercy of the Lord. Or sometimes even the president of a temple, in a big temple, if a guest is coming, is saying, who is the president? Then he may have to say, I am the president. But he will always know I am simply the servant of my Spiritual Master. So that is a consciousness. Therefore we have this yoke, and then we have this understanding the das, das, anadas, I'm the servant of the servant of the servant. That is the proper consciousness. Yes?
Yeah, especially Gurudev taught us when it comes to offering bow, that Gurudev, he has prayed because Krishna
Yes.
was mentioning yesterday
Yes.
that Radha and Krishna, they wanted to taste your praise.
Yes.
So he has prayed, therefore his offering will be accepted.
Right.
Our offering,
Yes, that is true.
therefore
Yes.
we're asking him to offer.
Yes. Yes.
And then, of course, we might beg, there's another prayer, we're probably jumping ahead, is to beg forgiveness.
Yes, that is also there. Yes. After every seva, that is there, we beg forgiveness for offenses. That is also a must actually on the altar, but even in home worship one should offer prayers for obtaining forgiveness for one's offenses. After every seva on the altar it is done, and for householders at home worship. After the puja one should do, even there's an injunction that at night time before taking rest, one should pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, if I have committed any offense in your seva, or in chanting the holy names, or towards the holy Dham, or towards the Vaishnavas, please kindly forgive me for these offenses. And then we should take rest.
Is there a mantra for that, or just?
There's a new language you may say, but it is there's an injunction in I think it is mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas also.
And Arjuna Deepika as well.
Yeah, Prabhuji also.
What's that? But the mantras for obtaining forgiveness are there in the Arjuna Deepika, but the specific mantra at the time of before taking rest, the injunction is there. And I think it is in Hari Bhakti Vilas mentioned. But that is not mentioned in Archana Padati. But the general mantras are there for obtaining forgiveness. Mantra hinam, kriya hinam, bhakti hinam janadana, yat pujinam vaideva, paripurnam tadastu me. My dear Lord Janardhan, whatever I have done, please accept it. Mantra hinam, even though I have not properly chanted the mantras. Kriya hinam, although I have not properly done the seva. Bhakti hinam, although I don't have bhakti, but still kindly accept that. And then aparada sasani kriya dhyana samaya dosama mityamam matva kshamasamaru surnaha. O Madhusudan, kindly forgive me for all the offenses I have done. And what he's saying, aparada sahasrani, thousands of offenses I'm committing day and night. And that is usually unknowingly we are committing so many kinds of offenses, especially in the beginning stage as sadhakas. Because the Bhav Bhaktas, they are not committing any offenses, but as sadhakas. So therefore we have to say these mantras for obtaining forgiveness of the seva. That is part of the process of deity worship, that we have to do that. Alright, so we just, so early morning till late at 9, so the different sevas are there. So offering bhoga, artik, and then putting the deities to rest at noon, and then again waking them up and doing more bhoga offering and artik and putting to rest the deities at night. And included is the puja, which we will discuss tomorrow after Mangalarti. So yeah, you have one question, Mataji?
Yes, in regard to being the assistant of Sri Gurudev,
Yes.
does that handle the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he will not accept any seva until we chant 64 rounds?
Yes, that is a good point, yes. Mataji is asking if we are thinking ourselves of a servant of Krishna, of the spiritual master, then by that whatever we are doing that will be accepted by the Lord, although we may not chant 64 rounds. Yes, that is acceptable if we follow the spiritual master, if he's allowing us to worship the deities, although we may not be able to chant 64 rounds. That will be accepted because of the pure devotees' influence. So Gurudev's mercy, by Gurudev's mercy, even if though we're not chanting 64 rounds maybe, but many are, but everyone, even myself, I try, but I'm so busy so I cannot chant every day 64. But at least I chant every Ekadashi, every Purnima, every Amavasya, once in a while, 64, other times maybe 32, 48, as time is permitting. But if one is working, then one can just many times only chant 16 rounds. But still, then one may worship the deities by the mercy of the Spirit Master. So A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada also, he had told his disciples first to chant 64, but then they said they could not, then he said 32, they could not, then he said 16, but not less. And so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, Srila Prabhupada, mentioned that we should chant 64 rounds, and he wanted the sannyasis, and especially pujaris, he wanted them to chant 64 rounds, because of Mahaprabhu's instruction. But even for them sometimes it is not possible. But if the Acharya is chanting and then is engaging the disciples, then Krishna will accept. So by the mercy of Gurudev or Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Prabhupada, it is accepted by Mahaprabhu and Krishna, although we are not qualified. But we should try to become qualified. Yes.
The Srila Gurudev actually also mentioned that we should have the meditation that we are offering into the hands of our Gurudev, because Guru can go there.
Yes.
Guru is there. So like this and that way, it's not that we're offering into his hands.
Yes.
Assisting.
Yes.
Guru is taking.
Yes. Yes. That is there. Yes. Of course, and then if you see for example, even yes, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada mentioned, we put a plate in front of the deities, we offer the mantras to Prabhupada, and then Nama Mahavadanyaya Nama Pramana Deve and chant Hare Krishna, and then Krishna will accept. And it is true, because Prabhupada said, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, that Krishna will accept. At the same time, even I heard Gurudev say that these are simply pranam mantras. But they are actual mantras for offering. Idam naividam klim krishnaya namaha. Idam mishtana padiyakam sarvam. Idam anavyanjana padiyadikam sarvam. Klim krishnaya namaha. The pujari has to say. Naividam samarpayami. Naivedam, I am offering this Navedya. Samarpayami, I am offering. So that is there also, the mantras are there, which we have to chant. And there it is mentioned that you are actually doing under the instruction of the Spiritual Master. Like that. But especially when one is not qualified, then one will offer to Gurudev, and then he will offer to his Gurudev, or you may offer directly. But still the understanding, even, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, just one letter, one devotee just told me that he said we should offer to our Spiritual Master, he will offer to his Spiritual Master, to his Spiritual Master, like that. It will go up like that, and then he will go to Mahaprabhu and Krishna. That is the general way, that is the understanding. At the same time, he may be there, just like the servant of the Spiritual Master is there also. He is always serving. Like Jagannath was serving Madan Maharaj. But then sometimes maybe one of the devotees coming, and the Jagannath will say, you serve Gurudev. Like that. So sometimes it is like that. Especially on the higher level.
In our temples, we offer first to Radha Krishna.
Yes.
And we go descending.
Yes. Of course that is there, but for example, we offer Bhoga. We offer the Bhoga, and we may present to the Spiritual Master, and then he will present to his Spiritual Master, then it is going to Krishna. And then the prasadam that is distributed to the associates of Krishna, and then Mahaprabhu and his associates, and then the acharyas, they will take the remnants. It is presented, but then it is offered to Krishna. Krishna is the Ishtadev. When we are doing artik also, we take the permission from the Spiritual Master, we show to the Spiritual Master whatever we are offering. But then artik is done to Krishna, Radha Krishna, Mahaprabhu. And then showing also to the acharyas, going down. Like that. Yes.
If you're doing
Guru Puja.
offering all items to Gurudev,
Yes.
then after, it's said you should offer to others, but...
Now in Guru Puja you have the Guru Paraphernalia, and then you have separate paraphernalia for Mahaprabhu and separate paraphernalia for Krishna.
No. But I'm just wondering, say would you offer, I've seen different things, but after offering all paraphernalia to Guru, you wouldn't offer to Guru Prabhupada because they're senior, right? But
No, usually it is not done like that.
Yeah.
Like flowers.
flowers.
When we offer flowers to Radha Krishna, we cannot put them on the lotus feet of our Lord.
No, if you offer flowers to Radha Krishna, you cannot put them to the lotus feet. You may give to the spiritual master's hand. So therefore, this is a matter of consciousness. You do arti to the deities, you offer to Radha Krishna, and then you offer the whatever remaining flowers are there, you may offer to the hand of the spiritual master, not to the feet of the spiritual master. That is not proper. So these are small details which you have to understand. So we have to close. It is already 5 o'clock. Hare Krishna. So we continue tomorrow.